So if you're someone who has been waiting to pick up a next-gen console, or I guess you could say now current-gen console, until you could find one locally on your store shelves, I have a quick update for you guys, as Best Buy will reportedly be selling these things in store this week, and I want to share it with you. Then we also have to cover the continued media marketing push around Metroid Dread and what this means for the future of Metroid as a Nintendo brand overall going forward. And the big talking point for today's video is we have yet another not officially announced Switch collection pack that has new details that have been reported upon that I want to share with you guys in today's video. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. As I mentioned, guys, we're covering a few different stories today, the first of which is actually not a Nintendo Switch related story, as I do want to quickly update a lot of the gamers out there that I know are Nintendo fans but may also be fans of Sony and Microsoft. As you know, it has been extremely hard this year to track down the new gen consoles, or now current gen consoles, as you know, these things have actually been out since November of 2020, if you can believe that, and it is still super hard to come across any kind of restock when it comes to big name consoles like the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S. And so pretty much everybody's had to rely on just random online drops. And I know personally from comments that I've seen from people, they are just waiting until eventually these things will be stocked on store shelves, and they've pretty much given up the online battle, as you are always facing bots, and it's who can get through the add to cart button and click it fast enough. And if you're just like randomly lucky, then you get through those checkout lines and you're able to secure one via shipping online. But that is always a coin flip, and a lot of people are busy at work, or you know, they have other things going on in their day where they can't just drop everything they're doing in a moment's notice and actually log in online and be successful on those online drops. So this story is for you guys, as we now have a new report that suggests that this week, in fact on September 23rd, which is Thursday, that Best Buy will indeed be selling this PS5 and the Xbox Series X in stores, as there's been some leaked images from Best Buy's internal inventory system. And I want to quickly hop over to VGC to read through the article with you guys so you know what to expect when it comes to September 23rd, this Thursday. PS5 and Xbox Series X are reportedly going on sale at Best Buy stores for the first time in 2021. Flagship locations expected to offer the consoles physically on September 23rd. Best Buy is reportedly preparing to sell the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X consoles in store for the first time this year. According to internal inventory screens shared with TechRadar, the retailer will have a limited number of both consoles available for purchase physically this Thursday, September 23rd. A select number of Best Buy stores are expected to have over 50 of each console available, with many more likely to be on sale at outlets in major metropolitan areas. The tweet here by Matt Swider says the following: exclusive PS5 plus Xbox Series X restock update. Best Buy will have consoles at select stores Thursday, September 23rd. So far, I'm told it'll work like their GPU stock, exclusive pics as proof. Here are the inventory screens cropped and masked to hide anything that could be tied back to my sources. Thank you for letting people know so everyone can plan out their week and beat the bots. While the method of selling consoles has yet to be confirmed, it's claimed that the sales process is expected to work similarly to how Best Buy restocked NVIDIA GPU cards this summer. If this proves to be correct, Best Buy managers will distribute paper tickets, queuing customers from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. local time ahead of store openings. Some consoles may also be sold online, with Best Buy offering same-day pickup either at storefront or curbside. So this may hopefully be a brief light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to the console shortages, especially when you talk the next gen PS5 and Series X consoles that, since they have come out, as I mentioned, have just been extremely hard to find, and you always have to compete against bots online. And this appears to be, you know, the first time since launch. I think Best Buy may have done like one brief in-store inventory restock. I can't remember if that happened on Black Friday or not, but it has been few and far between, and this will definitely be the first in-store restock happening this year. And so it's good news for people who have been holding out this entire time, waiting until eventually they could go line up and actually pick up a console like the old school days. And it does appear that Best Buy will be doing that this September 23rd. So let me know in the comments down below if you're still waiting to get a PS5 or a Series X, and if you're planning on trying to utilize this potential September 23rd drop that Best Buy will be having in store to secure yours. Now, the next story we're covering today is one that, if you've been around on the channel for a while, you may even be tired of me talking about it at this point, but I am just absolutely in love with the way that Nintendo is marketing Metroid Dread this time around. As you know, as a long-term Metroid fan, if you've watched how they've handled really any launch of any Metroid game historically, it has not ever received this amount of care, love, and attention from Nintendo, we would always get overview trailers and we would always get new little hype trailers here and there, but the level of care that they're putting into Metroid Dread to try to prop it up to successfully sell on the Nintendo Switch is very reassuring to see, because a franchise like Metroid that is so near and dear to many hardcore fans' hearts, it's always been kind of heartbreaking to see Nintendo be like, oh, there's a new Metroid game and we'll give you a couple trailers and then we're going to stop talking about it and see how it sells. And surprise, surprise, it historically does not sell well, as like the best-selling Metroid game of all time is still under 3 million total units sold, and that is just a very low bar whenever you look at games like Animal Crossing that in their first year crossed over 30 million units. Smash Bros, I think, is in the high 20 million to 30 million now. I mean, you have all these major mainstream titles that break out of that small sales number, and I think that this is the first Metroid game that gets closer to those bigger numbers. Will it be a 20 million unit seller? Most likely not, but it may be something like a 5 to 10 million unit seller now that we're seeing Nintendo really give it the true push that it deserves. And the reason it's back in the news today is there's actually been a tweet that's been circulating around on the internet where you can find a large-scale Metroid banner actually spotted in Mexico, which is just, again, a really cool thing to see Nintendo go out and actually have their media teams put up these large-scale displays. And that's just here in, you know, the North American region. I'm sure there's signs and different things going up all over the multiple regions, as you would expect for Nintendo to be pushing this game as we're getting really close to the October 8th release. And I would encourage you guys, even if you're not a hardcore Metroid fan, pick this one up, and if you need to see some reviews, watch the reviews, because from everything we've seen so far, it does appear to me that this is going to be a very great, incredible installment in Metroid. It's going to have deep story, deep lore. It's going to wrap up the initial story arc of Metroid 1 through 5, which is very exciting for fans who have been playing and waiting for this 5th installment to come out in that series to wrap it all up together. And I think it gets reviewed as one of the highest games of the year. Probably on Metacritic it'll be above the 90 score, and if that does happen, I think we see that kind of second wave of people and gamers that are just waiting to see if a game's just really great actually go run and pick it up as well. So I would love to hear from you guys if you're happy with the way Nintendo's been handling Metroid's marketing. I know there's definitely talking points around people saying they're exposing way too much of the game before it's actually released, and they've already showed us like the whole map and all the different places that you can go. And you know, while I can see that perspective, I also think that for fans that don't traditionally pick up 2.5D games, as that's just not as popular and common of a full price style of game nowadays, and a lot of gamers that are coming up in the current generation associate 2.5D with even like an indie title, you know, Nintendo needs to show why this one stands head and shoulder above the rest and really is worth your $60 investment. So I personally am in the camp that Nintendo is doing a fantastic job handling the marketing and media push for Metroid Dread, and I cannot wait for October 8th to be here, as I will be early in the morning picking up the Switch OLED and starting the playthrough of Metroid Dread. But I would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below how you personally feel about how Nintendo is handling the media and marketing push of Metroid Dread. As I've mentioned, you know, it is definitely a divisive topic amongst fans, so I would love to hear from you and your personal thoughts. Again, mine just lied that we're going to see more Metroid games, probably Prime Trilogy and Prime 4 get the same kind of media and marketing push if we see something like Metroid Dread really come out strong in the sales numbers. And I think that they're trying to truly build Metroid up as one of those household names like a Mario and a Zelda and a Donkey Kong, and I love to see that. So again, though, I do know that for certain fans that it is kind of taking you out of the experience if you feel like you've seen too much of the game, and there's even people who are not watching the most recent trailers that have come out from Nintendo, and that's a totally fine stance to have as well. So I would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below on how you do personally feel that Nintendo is handling this new Metroid release as we get closer to October 8th. And now the big game we're talking about today is yet another collection pack of classic games that is headed to the Nintendo Switch that we actually originally learned about back in August from a ratings board leak that essentially confirmed the existence of this title, but we now have some new information around it that I want to share with you guys. And this is a Disney collection pack that is actually kind of updated from the one that we saw released back in 2019 that was sold physically, and I'm assuming that this one will be sold physically as well. And this has some banger games on there from back in the day, so if you grew up in the era like SNES and Sega Genesis like I did, you'll probably have some fond memories of some of the games we're going to talk about here. But first, I do want to quickly hop over to VGC to read through the articles and all of the new information that we now reportedly can expect for this new Disney pack collection that will be headed to Nintendo Switch. An updated collection of classic Disney games will reportedly include the SNES version of Aladdin and The Jungle Book. 16-bit Disney classics Aladdin and The Lion King were remastered for Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC in 2019, including new content and a variety of game versions. 1993's Aladdin famously had totally different games released on both major console platforms of the time, including a Genesis/Mega Drive game by Virgin and directed by David Perry of Earthworm Jim, and an SNES version by Capcom and directed by Shinji Mikami from Resident Evil. The latter was not included in the 2019 release Disney Classic Games Aladdin and The Lion King, but according to Vooks, it will be present in the updated Disney Classic Games collection. So too will the SNES, Game Boy, and Sega Mega Drive versions of The Jungle Book. The Disney Classic Games collection, which was first outed by the Entertainment Software Rating Board in August, is headed to PC, PS4, Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. According to the classification body, it will reportedly include Disney's Aladdin on SNES, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Sega Mega Drive, Disney's Aladdin Final Cut Sega Mega Drive, Disney's Aladdin demo version on the Sega Mega Drive, Disney Aladdin Japanese version Sega Mega Drive, Disney The Lion King SNES, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Sega Mega Drive versions, Disney The Lion King Japanese version on the Sega Mega Drive, and Disney The Jungle Book on SNES, Game Boy, and Sega Mega Drive. It's currently unclear if players who purchased the 2019's Disney Classic Games Aladdin and The Lion King will receive access to the SNES version of Aladdin or The Jungle Book. According to Vooks, Aladdin features difficulty adjustments and camera changes. All titles include 1080p graphics, quick saves, and the ability to rewind gameplay up to 15 seconds or fast forward the game. The collection also includes the full game soundtracks. So as someone who does have fond memories of gaming in this era, I love to see collection packs like this, especially whenever you have multiple games and multiple versions of those games, in case if you have nostalgia more for one or the other. I can't see anybody, I'm sure there's some hardcore fans out there that'll do it, I can't see anybody actually completing each version of this game at release or anything like that, but I do see the appeal of actually offering multiple different types of styles of the game whenever, you know, you may have grown up with one version or the other, and I love to see it all included in a collection pack like this, as I did not pick up the 2019 release of Aladdin and Lion King, so I will probably be picking this one up this time around, as they are adding in Jungle Book this time. I really have most nostalgia though for the Lion King game itself, as I cannot tell you how many times I sat down and played that game with a buddy, and we would continue to trade off the controller only to make it to Scar, the literal final boss of the game, and just not be able to ever beat him. And I don't think to this day either one of us actually ever took down Scar in the final boss fight. And I mean, I probably played that game like 10 years ago the last time I gave it a shot, so I'm definitely excited to actually go back through and pick this up. And you know, I don't want to use the whole little rewind and save mechanic, as that would be cheating to me, because we did not have that back on the Sega Genesis when we were playing it as kids. And so I will be excited to at least go ahead and give this another fair shake and actually try to beat Scar this time on the Lion King. But I would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below about everything we talked about today. Let me know if you have any interest in picking up these new consoles that are apparently going to be restocked at Best Buy on September 23rd. Then also let me know your overall thoughts about Metroid Dread and how Nintendo continues to push this game in the way that we are seeing them handling the media and marketing of Metroid as a whole. And then the big talking point I want to hear from you guys is, do you have any nostalgia for these classic Disney games? And would you pick this collection pack up once we get the official pricing and release of this game? And also, are you someone who actually picked up 2019's version of the Disney Classic Collection Pack? And does that mean that you're just kind of going to skip this one over, or will you actually pick it up again, even if they don't, you know, just add in these additional game modes and additional game features to your existing title? So I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. So make sure you leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below before you leave the video today. Thanks so much for watching the video today, everyone. I do truly appreciate you all sticking around until the end. I do at this point in the video want to invite you all one more time to join Sunbro Nation if you haven't done so already. Do so by subscribing below, hit the like button on your way out if you enjoyed it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. That's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you all have a great day. Sunbro Nation, out.